My dad can buy you. Lucas Bowmont, 22 years old, strolls into the courtroom with the kind of confidence only money, or the illusion of it, can buy. Before anyone even speaks, he leans forward and smirks. Judge, my dad can buy you and this whole courtroom. Judge Frank Caprio slowly puts his pen down. Well, he says calmly, then he should start by buying you some discipline. Because in this courtroom, money doesn't matter. Conduct does. Lucas shrugs. I'm just saying, we both know how this ends. Caprioni raises an eyebrow. We'll see about that. Before we dive into this case, hit subscribe to Case Closed. Tell your city and state in the comment. The home of real justice, real consequences, and the legacy of Judge Frank Caprio. Because money can buy many things, but it has never bought manners. The clerk stands. Case number 2025-TR9034, City of Providence versus Lucas William Bowmont. Charges: reckless driving in a school zone, speed exceeding the posted limit by 35 miles per hour, verbal intimidation of an officer, and attempted influence via financial threats. Judge Caprioni looks at the defendant. Mr. Bowmont, do you have legal representation today? A woman in a tailored suit stands. Rachel Nguyen, defense counsel for Mr. Bowmont, Your Honor. Miss Nguyen, is your client prepared to address these charges in full today? Your Honor, we're prepared to pay the full fine immediately and resolve this matter without further proceedings. Miss Nguyen, this court is not for sale. We'll review the evidence. Sit down. Rachel Nguyen hesitates, then sits. Judge Caprioni flips a page. There's a notation here. Prior warning issued 9 months ago. Mr. Bowmont received a campus parking citation at Brown University for blocking emergency vehicle access during a fraternity event. Not criminal, but context. Mr. Bowmont, do you recall that incident? Lucas shrugs. It was handled. Handled, meaning your father's attorney called the university. The citation was withdrawn. That's not the same as accountability. It's pattern. Prior warning logged as context, not used as punishment basis. Mr. Bowmont, walk me through what happened on November 21st. I was driving on Hope Street, filming content for my social media. The street was clear, no kids anywhere. I went a little fast, sure, but nobody was in danger. You were clocked at 55 miles per hour in a 20-mile-per-hour school zone. The street was empty. Empty doesn't mean safe. School zones have reduced limits because children are unpredictable. You don't speed through them based on what you see in one moment. Content doesn't cancel law. Mr. Bowmont, but the school bell hadn't rung yet. Officer Santos, what time did this incident occur? Officer Hector Santos, seated in the front row, stands. 8:47 a.m., Your Honor. The school bell rings at 8:45. Children were already on school grounds and near crosswalks. Thank you, Officer Santos. Pattern interrupt. Quote from Eva Morales' written statement. He laughed when I blew the whistle. Officer Santos, please take the stand. Officer Santos steps forward, raises his right hand, and swears in. Officer Santos, please describe the incident that led to these charges. Yes, Your Honor. On November 21st, at 8:47 a.m., I was conducting speed enforcement near Hope Street Elementary. I clocked a black sports car at 55 miles per hour in a posted 20-mile-per-hour school zone. The crossing guard, Ms. Eva Morales, was in position with her stop paddle. I initiated pursuit. The vehicle did not stop immediately. It continued for 2 blocks before pulling into a parking lot. What happened when you approached the vehicle? The driver, later identified as Lucas Bowmont, was holding his phone out the window filming. I requested his license and registration. He stated, "This is content, officer. You're on camera." I explained the violation. He stated, "Do you know who my father is?" I informed him that was irrelevant. He stated, "You'll lose your badge when my dad calls." Judge Caprio leans forward. Officer Santos, did you perceive that statement as a threat or a promise? Both, Your Honor. Sounded like both. Let's hear it. Officer D'Angelo, play the body cam audio. Just the relevant exchange. A brief hiss of static, then Lucas's voice, sharp and dismissive. You'll lose your badge when my dad calls. Judge Caprio lets the silence sit for a moment. Mr. Bowmont, did you make that statement to Officer Santos? Yeah, but I was frustrated. Frustration doesn't authorize threats. Officer Santos, how did you interpret that statement? As intimidation, Your Honor, an attempt to leverage his father's wealth and influence. Timestamp, Nova Shino 1:00 a.m. Body cam audio excerpt logged. Judge Caprio turns to the clerk. Ms. Reyes, were there any contacts to this court regarding this case prior to today's hearing? The clerk flips through a log. Yes, Your Honor. 2 incoming calls and 1 voicemail, all from a number registered to Bowmont Holdings. Legal affairs. Timestamps. First call at 10:33 a.m. Second call at 11:07 a.m. Voicemail left at 11:22 a.m. Play the voicemail on the record. A professional male voice fills the courtroom. This is Colin from Bowmont Holdings Legal Affairs regarding case 2025-TR9034. Mr. Victor Bowmont requests a quiet resolution of this matter before it proceeds to public hearing. We're available to discuss appropriate arrangements. Please contact us at your earliest convenience. Rachel Newen stands. Your Honor, my client is not responsible for calls made by his father's legal team. This is prejudicial. Overruled. Influence doesn't arrive in suitcases anymore. It arrives in voicemails. When any party attempts to shape a proceeding before it begins, that attempt goes on the public record. The voicemail stands. Call timestamp displayed. 11:22 a.m., November 21st, 2025. Voicemail from Bowmont Holdings Legal Affairs. Judge Caprio looks at the clerk again. Is Ms. Ava Morales available to give a statement? She is, Your Honor, by phone. Put her through. A woman's voice, steady but emotional, fills the speaker. Thank you, Your Honor. I've been a crossing guard at Hope Street Elementary for 6 years. On November 21st, I was in position at 8:45 a.m. when the first students began crossing. At 8:47, a black sports car came through at high speed. I blew my whistle and raised my paddle. The car didn't slow. It swerved around me. I heard children scream. Traffic had to halt for 6 minutes while we calmed the kids down and got them safely across. One little girl asked me if the driver was coming back. Courage wears reflective vests, not designer logos. Lucas mutters something under his breath. Judge Caprio catches it. Mr. Bowmont, if you have something to say it clearly. I said she's being dramatic. Nobody was hurt. Ms. Morales, thank you. Your statement is on the record. The line clicks off. Pattern, interrupt. Work zone delay data. 6-minute traffic halt. 23 children delayed. 4 children reported fear to parents. Judge Caprio picks up another document. Ms. Reyes, this is a text message screenshot submitted by Officer Santos, recovered during the stop with the defendant's verbal consent. Can you read it? From Lucas Bowmont to an unnamed contact. Timestamp 9:03 a.m., November 21st. Got stopped. LOL. Dad's team will make it vanish. Content gold, though. Lucas's face tightens. That was private. It was discoverable, Mr. Bowmont. Let me lay out a timeline. Traffic stop at 8:47 a.m. Citation issued at 8:54 a.m. Your text sent at 9:30 a.m. First call from Bowmont Holdings at 10:33 a.m. Someone moved very fast. I didn't ask them to call, but you expected it. You told someone the issue would vanish. That's not confidence in your innocence. That's confidence in your father's influence. Timeline, ledger. 8:47 a.m. Traffic stop initiated. 8:54 a.m. Citation issued. New defend text sent. 10:33 a.m.
First call from Bowmont Holdings. 11:07 a.m. Second call. Yuki Toyakaki Maki. AM voicemail left. Rachel Newen stands again, slower this time. Your Honor, given the sensitive nature of this case and the potential for media sensationalism, we request that the remainder of this hearing be handled off-record to protect my client's privacy. Ms. Newen, justice handled off-record stops being justice. This case stays on the public docket. Judge Caprio fixes Lucas with a calm, steady gaze. I'm going to ask you 3 yes or no questions. Did you drive 55 miles per hour in a 20-mile-per-hour school zone? Yes. Did you threaten Officer Santos by telling him he'd lose his badge when your father called? I was frustrated. That's not a no. Did you make that threat? Yes. Did you invoke your father's wealth and expect it to make this citation disappear? Lucas hesitates. I expected my father's lawyers to handle it. That's a yes. The record reflects 3 admissions. 5 seconds. 7. 10. 12. That's how long it took for wealth to realize it had no currency. Here, Judge Caprio leans forward. Mr. Bowmont, I've noticed something in your testimony. When I ask about what you did,
You're 22 years old, adult enough to threaten an officer, adult enough to drive recklessly past children. But when I ask about responsibility, you're suddenly 12 years old. Nobody was hurt. I was just frustrated. My dad's team will handle it. You're 22 when boasting, 12 when corrected. Pick one. Lucas doesn't answer. I'll ask again. Are you 22 or 12? 22. Then answer like it. Here are my findings. The evidence is overwhelming. Officer Santos's body cam footage, Miss Morales' testimony, your own admissions, and the timeline of calls from your father's legal team established that you drove recklessly through a school zone at nearly triple the speed limit. You endangered children. You threatened an officer. You invoked your father's wealth to intimidate. You expected the citation to vanish because money has always made your problems disappear. Judge Caprio pauses. This court deals in conduct, not net worth. Mr. Bowmont, your father's billions don't grant you immunity from traffic law. Your status doesn't erase the fear Miss Morales saw in those children's faces. School zones exist to protect the most vulnerable among us, children who trust that adults will slow down and keep them safe. He turns a page. I also note the prior warning. You were told once that emergency vehicle access matters. That citation was withdrawn after your father's attorney intervened. You learned the wrong lesson. You learned that money erases consequences. Today, that lesson ends. Evidence summary. Body cam audio. Officer narrative. Crossing guard testimony. Text screenshot. Call log from Bowmont Holdings. Timeline corroboration. Prior pattern of influence. The base fines total $1,320. Reckless driving in a school zone, $800. Excessive speed, $300. Verbal intimidation of an officer, $150. Attempted financial influence, $70. Lucas exhales sharply. However, I'm staying a portion of that total $600 contingent on your full and timely completion of a restorative accountability plan. If you complete it, that portion is waived. If you don't, it's reinstated. Here's what the plan requires. First, written apologies to Officer Hector Santos and Eva Morales. Not statements drafted by your father's legal team. Real apologies in your own words that name what you did and what you learned. You will deliver them in person if both agree to meet you. If either declines, you'll mail them, and the court will confirm receipt. Second, 180 hours of community service with the School Zone Safety Task Force. You'll assist with crosswalk monitoring, safety audits, parent workshops, and traffic enforcement support. No media coverage, no photo opportunities, just work. Third, you'll deliver 4 public talks to youth driver education classes explaining the consequences of reckless driving, the purpose of school zones, and the difference between accountability and entitlement. Fourth, you'll write and record a public service announcement on accountability versus entitlement.
The script will be vetting by this court. No family mentions, no brand promotion. Plain truth about why wealth doesn't excuse recklessness. Fifth, you'll submit a 1,000-word written reflection titled Money Can't Buy Character. It will address
what you learn through this process, not PR language, plain truth. Mercy isn't for sale. It's earned in installments. Payment timeline, $720 due within 30 days. Remaining balance contingent on compliance. If you believe money should never bend justice, subscribe to Order in the Court. Additionally, I am making the following recommendations on the record to the Municipal Court Administration and the Office of the Mayor. 1. Establish a quarterly judicial influence report documenting all contact attempts from high-income defendants or their representatives. The reports will be published on the court's public website. 2. Implement a donor contact firewall. No legal representatives from real estate developers, major donors, or corporate entities may contact court staff directly about pending cases. All communication must go through official court administration channels. 3. Create an officer intimidation report form. Any officer who experiences threats related to a defendant's wealth or status can file a report. Every report will be investigated. 4. Develop a school zone priority sentencing guideline. Cases involving reckless driving near schools will receive enhanced scrutiny and stricter penalties. 5. Launch a public transparency dashboard for traffic cases involving high-income defendants. The dashboard will track case outcomes, fines paid, and service completed to ensure equal treatment under law. Ms. Reyes, please ensure copies of these recommendations are transmitted to the relevant agencies by end of business today. Next judicial influence report will be published April 1, 2026. Yes, Your Honor. Next audit date, April 1, 2026, quarterly thereafter. That afternoon, a call comes through to the court administrator from Bowmont Holdings. The administrator informs Judge Caprio. He takes the call on speakerphone with the clerk present, everything on the record. Judge Caprio, this is Victor Bowmont. I'd like to discuss my son's case. Mr. Bowmont, the case has been adjudicated. The ruling is on the record. There's nothing to discuss. With respect, Your Honor, I believe we could reach a more efficient resolution. Mr. Bowmont, this is not your case to manage. Your son has counsel. He has a voice. The proceeding is closed and public. Independence needs procedures, not patrons. I see. Thank you for your time, Your Honor. The line goes silent. Clerk note entered. 3:14 p.m. Call from Victor Bowmont. Referred to public record. No further action. Over the next 4 months, Lucas completes the plan piece by piece. ***, December 5. Email receipt. Written apology delivered to Officer Santos. First draft rejected. Too formal. Clearly written by someone else. Second draft accepted. I threatened your career because I was scared of consequences. That was cowardice, not confidence. I'm sorry. Officer Santos reply. Apology accepted. Respect is behavior, not balance sheet. ***, December 8. Email receipt. Written apology delivered to Ava Morales. She replies, thank you. Kids remember who waited for them and who didn't. ***, December 12, March 28. Service logs from School Zone Safety Task Force. 180 hours completed over 15 weeks. Weekly summaries show progression. Week 3, observing crosswalk protocols. Quiet on time. 9 assists assisted with traffic calming demonstration. Asked good questions about child behavior patterns. Week 14. Led discussion with parents on school zone awareness. Parents engaged positively. ***. January 15th, February 10th, March 5th, March 26th. ***. Youth driver talk completion certificates. 4 talks delivered at local high schools. Attendance, 187 total students. One teacher's comment. He was honest about his mistake. That made it powerful. ***. February 20th. PSA script submitted. First draft rejected by court for excessive self-promotion. Clerk's note. Remove references to learning journey and brand evolution. Use plain language about consequences. March 10th. Revised PSA script approved. Recording submitted March 14th. Script excerpt.
I drove 55 through a school zone because I thought my time mattered more than kids' safety. I was wrong. Money can't buy back a child's life. Slow down. They're worth it. Asterisk, asterisk. March 25th. Asterisk, asterisk. 1,000-word reflection submitted. Excerpt. I spent 22 years believing my father's wealth made me untouchable. I threatened an officer because I thought money was authority. I expected the citation to vanish because problems always had before. I learned that character can't be bought. It has to be built one accountable choice at a time. Compliance ledger. 180 hours logged, 4 talks delivered, 1 PSA approved, 2 apologies accepted, 1 reflection filed, $720 balance remaining. 4 months after the original hearing, Lucas returns to court for final review. Judge Caprio reviews the submitted documents: service logs, talk certificates, apology receipts, PSA recording, written reflection. Mr. Bowmont, I've read everything. Summarize what you learned. Lucas stands. He's alone. No counsel, no family, no legal team. Your Honor, I learned that wealth doesn't equal worth. When I drove through that school zone, I gambled with children's lives because I thought my schedule mattered more. When I threatened Officer Santos, I tried to weaponize my father's money. When I expected the citation to vanish, I acted like accountability was optional. It's not. Rules exist to protect people, especially kids who can't protect themselves. Money can buy a lot of things, but it can't buy character. What did you learn from working with the Safety Task Force? That crossing guards stand in traffic every day to protect kids they don't even know. That parents trust the system to keep their children safe. That 1 second of my impatience could have ended a child's life. I met Miss Morales during my service. She told me about the little girl who asked if I was coming back. That image stays with me. What did you learn from Officer Santos? That respect is behavior, not balance sheet. He treated me fairly even after I threatened him. That's integrity I didn't show. Judge Caprio nods. You stopped using your father's wealth as armor and started building your own character. He signs a form. I'm waiving the suspended $600. You still owe $720 total, payable in installments. Your community service is complete. Your reflection demonstrates
Genuine growth. This matter is closed. Thank you, Your Honor. Don't thank me. Thank the people who taught you what money couldn't. Should every rich offender face community service with the working class? Yes or no? Subscribe for Judge Caprio. 6 months later, the policies take effect. The quarterly Judicial Influence Report launches. First quarter shows 7 contact attempts from high-income defendant representatives, all documented, all handled per protocol. 0 cases show evidence of influence on outcomes. The donor contact firewall is implemented. Court staff report 0 direct contact from developer representatives or corporate legal teams, all communication routed through proper channels. The Officer Intimidation Report form goes live. 3 reports filed in first 6 months, all investigated. 1 results in enhanced penalties for repeat offender. School zone priority sentencing guideline is adopted citywide. Average penalties for school zone violations increased 23%. Repeat violations drop 18%. Public Transparency Dashboard launches. First quarter data shows equal fine payment rates across income brackets. High-income defendants show 94% service completion rate, same as general population. Press headline excerpt. Caprio Court implements wealth-blind justice reforms. 1 year after the hearing, Judge Frank Caprio receives a handwritten note on plain paper, no corporate letterhead, no family seal, is greater than, Your Honor, but is greater than, I wanted you to know that I've continued volunteering with the School Zone Safety Task Force. I'm not required to anymore, I choose to. Last week, a parent thanked me for monitoring the crosswalk where her son crosses every day. She said her son feels safer knowing someone is watching. I thought about the kids who screamed when I sped past them. I'm grateful you didn't let my father's money erase that memory. Thank you for teaching me what wealth can't buy. Is greater than, respectfully, Esquire Lucas Bowmont. Judge Caprio files the note and writes a single line in his bench book. He arrived thinking money could buy everything. He left understanding it couldn't buy respect. Late on a quiet Friday afternoon, Judge Frank Caprio closes the file on his final case of the week. But before stepping out of his chambers, something pulls him back. He reopens Thursday's docket, the one with Lucas Bowmont, the young man who tried to buy respect with his father's wallet. Caprio studies the notes, then pictures Lucas as he last saw him, soaked in the rain at a school crosswalk, holding a stop paddle, shielding children he barely knows, learning their names one by one, earning something he once thought he could shortcut. He thinks of Ava Morales, the veteran crossing guard who shows up before sunrise every day, not for money, but for duty, for community, for heart. He remembers the silence in that courtroom. 5, 7, 10, 12 seconds where Lucas realized the truth, that power means nothing without character to hold it. Judge Caprio picks up his pen and writes one final line in the case file. Integrity is the only currency time can't devalue. He closes the folder, switches off the lights, and locks the door behind him, leaving once more the kind of legacy that made his courtroom a symbol of justice with humanity. This is a dramatization, a tribute to the values Judge Caprio stood for and the lessons he left behind. Before you go, where in the world are you watching from? And if you believe justice should always come with compassion, hit subscribe to Case Closed so these stories of real accountability never fade away.